Welcome to this new All About Me webpage screencast. Today, we will be demonstrating how to create the About Me webpage. This may be your first time building a webpage, so let's get to it. Now, if you're in the course with me, you will have already completed the software setup activity. Make sure you remix that project so that you have access to our working files. Now, you should be familiar and have read the vocabulary. We are going to incorporate some of these elements, and we will be nesting them inside one another to complete the page. Make sure you review the semantics and try out these demonstrations. For example, the Try It Yourself buttons here will launch us to a series of W3 Schools tutorials. I highly recommend you use these early on until you get a better understanding of how they work. If you come on down here and you'd like to try one for yourself, for example, a simple HTML document, you can simply click the green button and try out some of your changes, or try out some of your HTML and get practice doing markup language. If we come here, we can make a second paragraph element. My second paragraph. And make sure whatever you open, you close. Okay? You'll notice every time in markup language, we have to open up an element with an angle bracket. We then declare the element, and then we close with a closing angle bracket. So this is technically open bracket. We fill with content, and then we close the element. We always close an element with a slash preceding the element name. So P stands for paragraph. So we open up the P. We close the P with a slash. Okay, just like that. And if you want to make sure that you see the changes you're making happen, you have to click this Run button, and then you should see it just populate this space here. Very similar to what we do in Glitch. We have the designing side with HTML, and we have the user side for web views. Okay, very similar to what we see here. So let's get to it. Let's create this About Me page. I'm simply going to be jumping up ahead. Make sure that you have created the aboutme.html file. If you watched my previous video, you would have seen us create this earlier. If I come to Glitch, I can see mine is already created. And all of the files that you want to create and edit should show themselves here on the left-hand margin of Glitch. So make sure you click on the right one you want to edit, and then you can make your changes. So let's actually adjust this. It says Hello World. The next thing I want to do is include a heading. For more information on headings, titles, and headlines, look at step 4. It's going to give you some, reading and examples, if you want to call it that. Here, it shows H1 is the largest heading, followed by H2, and then there's an H4, 5, and 6 as well, if you want to demonstrate those. Okay, H1 being the largest. So I'm going to continue my About Me page by removing this paragraph here. And what I'd like to do right after main is actually just put an About Me headline. Okay? About Me. There it is. And what I'd like to do under that is create a secondary header called, named after me, my name. Okay? You'll notice Glitch will auto-populate the closing tag for you. When you open something, it's going to close it for you. And if you ever see an error in red, it's going to indicate that you need to adjust something. There's an error on the page. And you see a red dot here is highlighted on line 24. It's telling me there's something wrong. Can you identify what is wrong? That's right. If you see here, I've opened up my H2 element, and I've closed my H2 element, and then I've repeated myself by closing it again. Okay, so we don't need to close it twice. Okay, we just close it once. And you see here, if you keep the angle bracket separate from the rest of it, okay, rest of the syntax, it's going to identify some errors. So don't include any spaces. Keep everything single-spaced next to each other for easier reading. Okay, that's great. So our H1 is showing, my H2 is showing, and right now I'm going to include a little paragraph of text just to detail a little bit about who I am. I am an instructor for web design classes. Okay, include the dot, it's going to include the punctuation. You can omit the dot, it omits the punctuation. So essentially, it's going to just preview what we're doing. make sure you preview or show next to the code. Now, I think it's in order that we add an image, and this is how you would upload an image. The image element, in short, is img, and there are two attributes, we call them, that need to be defined. We need to use an attribute to call on the image file we'd like to use. And in the event it cannot find the file, we should write in some alternative text that should show to users. So let's do that. Let's just do an src property, and that will be the file image, image file. And I don't have one ready to use or show you, so I'll just write that in there, .jpg. And then after that, I should have an alternative text show. In the event it cannot find image file.jpg, I would like it to declare these words, profile picture. And then we need to close our image element. Okay, this is called self-closing. An image element is self-closing. That means you don't have to do this. You don't have to declare closing for img element. You can close it at the same time you open it. So we close what we open inside of itself. Okay, and there are certain elements that are self-closing elements. img for image is one of those elements. And can you see what's happened here? My alternative text is showing when you could say the glitch server is having trouble finding my image file.jpg. It doesn't actually exist yet. So it's showing my profile picture text right here. So this is how you would upload a file for Glitch to read the image you'd like to show. You want to click up here where it says assets. And then you want to come and you want to see, looks like we've remixed a project that already had a wireframe boxes labels JPEG. And it looks like it also has a R2D2 snow figure. We don't want to use either of these for my About Me page. So I'm going to go upload a new asset. And I'm exploring my desktop. And I look here and I want to go to my WDD folder where I've been keeping my work. And it looks like I have a profile picture of myself. I'm going to grab that and push open. It's now uploading my asset. There it is. Now once you have it, we're not done yet. You want to click on the uploaded picture and I will push copy. What copy does is it's going to copy the path to this image on the server for Glitch. So essentially, look, it's a whole URL address. So we can click it all ourselves, or we can just click copy and it will copy it for you. Note, take note, the image is 400 pixels wide by 400 pixels high. Okay, so it's a square, 400 by 400. And the file size is 201 kilobits. And look, it shows it was uploaded a few seconds ago. If you upload something you later don't want to use or want to remove, just push the delete and you can remove that from your assets folder. Again, to click out from an image, just click away from it. And then we can go back to our aboutme.html file and we can declare the path to this image. Okay, I can do Command V and there's the path to my image. Okay, Command V will just paste. If you don't like to do Command V, do Command Z or Control Z. If you're on a PC or a Mac, PC is Control Z, Mac is Command Z for undo. And you can also just right click if you want and you can paste. Okay, so that's just the shortcut to paste and undo things. So now that it's found my image, the alternative text no longer shows. Do you see that? And if I accidentally delete a character in the path to the image, it's no longer found. So the alternative text now pops back up. Okay, put the P back in and it now finds the path to my file. So that's essentially how you go about uploading an asset for images. That's how you use the HTML structure to get headlines and paragraphs working. And essentially that's as much as we really do in the About Me activity. But you do still need to read all of this syntax and get some practice writing this in. Don't just copy it, please. You should write it in to get a more clear understanding of how all of these markup elements work together. Now, finally, how will I grade your work? Well, if you come on down here, make sure you can preview your work, just like I am. Make sure you're doing show next to code so that you can see what you're doing, and preview your website, because all that's left to do now is preview and then submit. Okay, we've already added our image. Coming on down here. Okay. And if you haven't done this, before I get to the rubric and grading, make sure you update your Canvas profile. That's this image right here. If I want to update mine again, I would simply click on my picture on account. I'd click on profile. I then come to my picture, click on the pencil, and then I would upload a picture. Okay, choose a picture, and I could click on the same, Chris Rigby profile if I wanted to, and I could center that and push save. So really, it's a two-part assignment. Create the About Me page in Glitch, update your profile picture. Hopefully it shows soon. And then what we do is we go back to where we were working, the About Me. Coming on down here, we then post it to the discussion board. And some students get a little confused with this step. So the last thing you do is you open the assignment, discussion board. You click reply. And then as part of your new post that you're publishing is you need to make sure you share the right link to it. So the instructions say that you need to paste in the public link to your About Me page. To find this within the project, open Show, and then look for Copy the Address. So let's do that. Let's try to show your project in a new window in Glitch and copy the address. So I'm going to preview this just to show you what I'm doing. So let's do Show in a new window. Great. It looks like it's working. It's showing the About Me page. Okay? And then if I come over here, I want to click on the entire path to the About Me page. Okay? And copy that. But wait a second. This doesn't look like the updated page I was just doing, does it? Let's see what's going on. If I click on About Me, oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the About Me page. Now, what do you think it was loading right here? That's right. If you figured it out, this page is the index.html file. Okay, that's what we had earlier. If we come on back here, that was this page. If we preview this, oh, yes, I see what's happened. Change URL. You see, we were previewing next to the code my aboutme.html. Okay, so if we remove that, what we're left with is index.html. So don't share this index.html file. Share your aboutme.html one. So that means we want to do this. Click Show, remove that, Show in a new window. Okay, and what it's going to do always, Glitch will always do this if you preview in a new window, it's going to show you the index.html page. So if you don't have navigation, what you do is you simply declare by declaring the name of the file you want to show. So for me, that would be a / aboutme.html. If I push that, it's now going to show my site. Again, it's preferred if you have working links that can jump about. And if you don't have the navigational links, you'll just have to know, wait, what am I looking for? Oh, right, I created an aboutme.html. So we need to append or add the name of that file to the index.html page. Okay, so by default, it is what it is. Glitch.me is the index. But if we want the specific file, like positioning, then we'd have to type it in. Okay, this is an exercise we'll do, I think, later, week 5, week 6. And if it's the About Me, well, I need to boss the URL line around. And I need to say, wait, pull up aboutme.html. Okay, so again, you can physically alter the path, or if you have links, you can click on those relative links to get about your page. But this is probably one of the most confusing parts of web design for new students, is figuring out how to get the files organized, how to get the elements to show, and how to preview their files correctly. So if you have any questions, please comment on the discussion board. Comment as well by looking at your classmates' posts and ask each other questions. Start sharing your About Me pages, and it's a great way to get to know each other. I look forward to your work, and I hope to see you soon in the next screencast. Thanks again.